Queer. What does that word mean? To many older folks, queer means odd, something strange, singular, not in a good way. To many gay people, queer is a derogatory term. It's a word used to harass and hurt them. Definitely not something they would want to be called. But to me, queer simply means being who I am. That's me as a child. I was born female, but never really felt like a girl. I liked soccer and fist fights, and when I saw Titanic, I really wanted to be Leonardo DiCaprio. As I grew older, I started feeling more feminine, but I still don't consider myself a woman. But I don't consider myself a man either. And there are many more young adults to whom the whole blue box, pink box thing just never really made sense. We choose the word queer to describe ourselves.
There's not just men and women. There's so much in between.
I don't identify as bisexual because that implies a belief in a gender binary that I don't believe in.
I feel like I could probably be super lesbian at some points in my life and super straight at some points in my life.
The word queer started taking on new meanings in the 1980s after the gay liberation movement. As hundreds of thousands of gay men were dying from AIDS, political activists appropriated the insult queer. It became a battle word to demand public attention and treatment. Around the same time, gay and lesbian studies became prominent in academia. Some early scholars such as Judith Butler, Jack Halberstam, and Eve Kosofsky-Sedgwick started using the term queer to question the entire concept of gender and sexuality, and their ideas eventually caught on.
Queer is sort of a newer concept that's a bit harder for some older people to understand, even older queer people to understand.
They don't have a frame of reference for this idea that we're expressing about queerness.
My parents hate it. They hate that word. Every time I use it, they give me a lecture because they think it's a really cruel word, and so they can't come around to the fact that it's actually the way that people like to be described and choose to describe themselves.
Questioning other people's feelings and your own feelings and views. I guess that's a common theme in our generation. Is it that two-sided as we think that gender is, or is it more like a scale, or it has more colors than we think, or that definition of man and woman has?
Gender, just like anything else, is a way for people to feel like they have an identity, meaning they have some kind of understanding of who they are.
It's something that we learn. We learn how to eat, we learn how to move, we learn how to dress, we learn what are the clothing that is appropriate for what we are, for the class that we are supposed to represent, for the gender that we are supposed to represent.
People are starting to think about gender and sexuality in a new way.
People across the globe have been asking for a legally recognized third gender. So far, Australia, Nepal, Pakistan, New Zealand, Germany, and India have allowed its citizens to check a box on legal documents that is neither female nor male.
I never felt like there were two genders that I was attracted to, but rather there was a plethora of genders I was attracted to.
I have a girlfriend right now, and people just think, oh, look at that straight couple, that's so cute. And to us, we're like, oh, we're not straight. Obviously, sex-wise, it's, we have a different kind of sex than regular straight people have, because I don't have, the male parts that straight sex requires. But even apart from that, she likes women, and she likes trans men, and she likes genderqueer folks, and I like men, and I like women. And so separately we're queer, and together we're queer.
Once you make a decision about your sexuality, it doesn't have to be a permanent decision. And I think if you say you're queer, that means that you can be into different things at different times in your life.
Queerness is not about who you're attracted to or who you sleep with or which gender you consider yourself. It's more of a political view on the world. It's seeing the gender and sexuality are problematic labels that limit everyone.
Not having the precise, perfect label for myself would make me feel, and kind of does sometimes make me feel, just like a weirdo. And queerness allows a bunch of weirdos to like all exist in their like personal reality that might be difficult to explain.
The notion of queerness has expanded a community beyond the limits of what homosexuality or gay could be before.
We're tearing that illusion down that gay, bi, and straight are the only things out there. Yeah, that's just an illusion.